How is it going out there, everybody? This is Jordan Jones. Now I'd like to talk about my favorite game on a lot of Nintendo consoles. This won't be the Game Boy stuff. It'll not count the Game Boy stuff, like Game Boy Advance, but we'll count most of them. If you guys give me a favor and drop a like, I'd really appreciate that. If you're new to my channel, don't forget to subscribe and click on the bell to be notified every time I make new videos. And without further ado, let's go. Okay, so when it comes to the very first Nintendo console, the NES, if I had to pick my favorite game for the NES, that would definitely have to be Mike Tyson's Punch-Out. The reason why it have to be Mike Tyson's Punch-Out is because it's a really fun boxing game, and the boxers are really fun to defeat. Such as Glass Joe, of course. Of course, I know on Glass Joe there's a buffer strat you can do that will beat him every single time. So there is on Piston Honda 2 as well. And then it's just a really fun experience. It's a real thinking man's boxing game. In the final fight against Mike Tyson, which Mr. Dream on my version because I'm playing it on Wii Virtual Console. Mr. Dream is one tough cookie. If you don't use the Jack Wedge buffer strat that he came up with, Mr. Dream is one tough cookie to beat. And that means his punches are really unpredictable, and then you have to react to dodge them. Because if you don't react fast enough, you're going to get knocked down. And even a veteran like me, who's played the game hundreds of times, can be knocked down by Tyson easily. And that's all I really have to say. Moving on to the next game now. As for the Super Nintendo, if I had to pick my favorite game on the Super Nintendo, my safest pick is Super Punch-Out. The reason why is because I love speedrunning this game. I'm part of the Sub 3 Club for speedrunning this game for a single segment. The speedrun strats are just really fun to learn. And once you get them down pat, they just become so rewarding. They're so rewarding once you get the speedrunning strats down pat. The game's a gauntlet of randomness, so a lot of boxers can kill a run. Every fight from Mad Clown onwards can kill your run just from luck alone. But thankfully, and this game's just really fun to play. And it's just a fun game to speedrun. And it's just a real thinking man's boxing game. But thankfully it's nowhere near as difficult as speedrunning Mike Tyson's Punch-Out. That's all I'm going to say about Super Punch-Out, so now we're going to move on. As for the Nintendo 64, if I had to pick my favorite Nintendo 64 game, I'll definitely have to go with Super Mario 64. I'll definitely have to go with Super Mario 64, which is the first 3D platformer ever made. And this game, of course, is a really great classic. And this game's just tons of fun to play. It just brings so much replay. There's ridiculous glitches you can do. Like this. Like here's one you can do. There's just ridiculous glitches. That if you do the glitches properly, you can glitch through doors. And stuff like that. And then it just has such a fresh gameplay value, especially when you play one of the levels in the game. And it was the first Mario game to have beautiful graphics. And to where you can move around in a 3D space. You can long jump, you can dive, you can kick, You can punch. You can even dive while running. And if you walk to certain areas, you can teleport. And then if you can long jump. And the BLJs are the backwards long jump. And people use that during glitches when they speedrun this game. And the BLJs are really fun. They're one of the best tricks you could possibly do. There's LBLJ. Who would have thought of LBLJ as a technique for speedrunning the game? I don't know. And it just has some really great detail. And it's just a really, really fun game overall. And it's just really, really fun. And gives a fun experience. And gets you used to the 3D Mario series. And it's just awesome. It's just one of Nintendo's greatest classics. Like it really is. Diving can be useful. There's several useful moves you can do in this game. And I'm glad it came out as a part of Super Mario 3D All-Stars in the year 2020. And then you can shoot to the island in the sky for a star. And there's certain missions you have to do like that. Overall, the gameplay is just extremely fun. And I love the music and I love the soundtrack in this game. Like when you go to the Bowser fight, I love the design of the Bowser bosses in the game. They have really good design. This game has precise controls. The controls are pretty precise. I mean, at first it might feel like you're slipping and sliding a little bit. That's how I first felt about Super Mario 64 with the controls. And now it don't feel that way anymore to me. Because I finally got used to it now. Long jumping is a common move you use when speedrunning this game. And this is one of the best games to speedrun. It's really fun to speedrun. Because the speedrunning tricks are fun to learn. Excuse me. And then you just gotta hit the switch here, then have stairs at certain areas. And you won't believe what you do with Bowser. It's kind of weird the way you fight Bowser, because you have to grab him by the tail and then hit him that way. And then you just have to hit him right here. You have to hit him into the spike things. And that's pretty much what you have to do. And that's all I have to say about this, so now we're going to move on to the next game. As for the GameCube, if I had to pick my favorite game on the GameCube, that would definitely have to be Super Mario Sunshine to be my favorite game on the GameCube. Why it's my favorite GameCube game, of course, because I love the 3D Mario games, and I love the added FLUDD. And I love the design and how good the water looks. I love how colorful it is. I love how beautiful the graphics are, and the graphics are just amazing. Everything about this game is just amazing. Like, Noki Bay, of course, is my favorite world in the game because of how amazing it is and stuff. And I love added FLUDD. That's why it's my favorite GameCube game, at least. And there we go. And then, of course, you can use FLUDD to do this. And then I love the FLUDD pack in this game. I love spraying the water and stuff. And this game is challenging, definitely. Like, most of the 3D Mario games we know are easy and stuff. You know, like 64 and Galaxy, those games are really easy, we know. So this game was challenging, definitely. This game was definitely the hardest of the 3D Mario games. We know Super Mario 64, Super Mario Odyssey, Super Mario 3D Land, and the Galaxy games were pretty easy overall. So was Super Mario 64 DS, so it was also pretty easy as well. And this game was definitely the hardest. I know Super Mario 3D World might be a close second when it comes to toughness, but this game was definitely the most difficult 3D Mario game. But this game is definitely my favorite GameCube game because of the mechanics. It's just a fun game to play. Like, it's just really fun with the mechanics and stuff. Like, it's just really, really fun. That's all I'm going to say, so now we're going to move on to the next game. As for the Nintendo DS, if I had to pick my favorite game on the DS, I'll definitely have to go with the new Super Mario Bros. DS game. Mainly because, it was the first game in the new Super Mario Bros. Series, of course. And of course, it's awesome. Because it kind of gets you used to the new Super Mario Bros. Series. And stuff like that. And then stuff like that. And then it's just awesome. And it has some... And it's just a really awesome DS game, and it's an easy game, and it's meant to be extremely accessible. It's meant to be played on the go. So that's why it's my favorite DS game. That's why it's my favorite DS game. For a pretty good reason why it's my favorite DS game. I know I like the 3D Mario games more than 2D. But if I had to pick my favorite regular DS game, it'd be this one. And it's still really awesome and stuff like that. So that's all I'm going to say. So now we're going to move on. As for the Nintendo Wii, if I had to pick my favorite Wii game, that one's very simple. My favorite Wii game would definitely have to be Super Mario Galaxy, without a doubt. There's multiple reasons I picked this. That's my favorite Wii game. This is definitely my favorite 3D Mario game. Definitely. It's definitely, it tops all 2D and 3D Mario games. Like, it's definitely my favorite Wii game. It's definitely my favorite Wii game, and also one of my favorite video games of all time. Because the level design in this game is just stunning, especially in the Freeze Flame Galaxy. Like, the level design is just stunning in this game. And it also came out in 2020 as a part of Super Mario 3D All-Stars. And Super Mario Sunshine was another game that came out on Super Mario 3D All-Stars, just in case you did not know. Excuse me. So, this is a really fun game, and it's a really fun experience. And it's definitely a game that's accessible to anybody. And it definitely gives you a really fun experience. And it's definitely a super fun experience, especially for people who have never played this game before. And they'll be like, wow, they'll be shocked by the experience. And it's just imagination going wild. And it has some secrets that are so fun to find. And then you have star bits you collect and stuff. And I'm even glad that a sequel even came out to it. Like 2.5 years after this game came out is when a sequel came out to it. And then, I'm just so glad that even the sequel was able to come out to this game. And then once you spin that one screw, you was able to have that come down. And then you're able to come this way. And then it's just really awesome. I love the spin move where you can shake your Wiimote to do the spin. No other Mario game beats this game. This tops all 2D, 3D Mario 2D and 3D Mario games, and it also tops all Mario Sports games and Mario Kart games. Like, this game just gives you a really fun experience. And that's really all I'm going to say about this game, so now we're going to move on. For the Nintendo 3DS, no surprise at all that my favorite 3DS game has to be Super Mario 3D Land, of course. The reason why Super Mario 3D Land has to be my favorite 3DS game is because if you turn on the 3D like this, it can make it look really good, and you have other options of 3D you can use. Excuse me, I don't ever use the 3D, so I'm just going to keep it off, so. And it's just a really fun 3D platformer to play. And it's just really smooth with the controls. And then it's just an easy experience. It's extremely accessible, and it can be played on the go. And Super Mario 3D Land, of course, has to be my favorite 3DS game, definitely. Although I would say Mario Kart 7 would be a close second for the 3DS games. But my favorite 3DS game has to be this one, Super Mario 3D Land. Because the levels are really fun. It's really fun to speed run. and stuff like that. Like, here's a level I really love to speedrun, World 8-5. This is definitely one of my favorite levels to speedrun. The level design looks so good. There's so much variety. Every level is so unique. Soundtrack is amazing. It's just a really chill game to play. And it's just awesome. Because we know I'm a huge Super Mario 3D Land fan. So this is a level I love to speedrun, World 8-5. This music is just really fun music to listen to. And you just gotta do this. And that's really all to say about Super Mario 3D Land. Now we're gonna move on. If I had to pick my favorite Wii U game, that would definitely have to be Super Mario 3D World without doubt. So, I'm gonna show the Switch version because I'm gonna show the extra speed that they added to the Switch version because for the Switch version they made all the characters run faster. And I just decided to show this version when I talk about this being my favorite Wii U game because the levels look great. Every level is so unique to one another. Unlike Super Mario 3D Land, instead of it just being the standard 1-2, 1-3, each level has its own name, and that's good. In this game, of course I prefer 3D World over 3D Land. Of course, this game's a sequel to 3D Land. This game is definitely a lot more difficult than 3D Land. And levels look really great in this game. Like, it's really, really awesome. Levels look awesome. So, and I can't believe this game got ported to Switch earlier last year. When it got ported to Switch, when they added the extra speed to the characters, made the characters run faster, I was like, wow, that's going to be great for speed running. When they made the characters run faster, I was like, that's going to make speed runs really, really fast. Snow levels and underwater levels look really great in Super Mario 3D World. Like, this game is gorgeous water, like it really does. And that's the reason why it's my favorite Wii U game. And I've already said I like the 3D Mario games more than 2D. But if you go inside this top, there's a beautiful section here. Hop-On Lagoon has to be my favorite level in Super Mario 3D World. Because it's a really awesome level, and plus I've always loved water levels in video games. Snowball Park would have to be my second favorite level in the game. Because I've always loved snow levels in games too. Like, they're just really, really fun. It's just really awesome. And this game just has some really good gameplay value. And it has multiplayer. There's not that many 3D Mario games that have multiplayer. And that's the good thing about this game. I love playing it like with friends and I love playing it like with cousins or with any of my family members. And that's all I'm gonna say about Super Mario 3D World. Now we're gonna talk about the last console. Of course, if we had to pick my favorite Nintendo Switch game, we already know it would have to be Super Mario Odyssey. Because I love Cappy. The Cappy mechanics really add a lot to the game. And I just love the swimming mechanics in the game. They're really awesome. Like, when I first played the Lake Kingdom way back in like 2017, I was shocked because of how amazing the water looks, because I've always loved water levels in video games. So every time I play a water level in a video game, I'm like, look at the water. And then, of course, Cappy's a good mechanic to use. I'll definitely have to say Breath of the Wild would be a close second in terms of my favorite Nintendo Switch games. Like, Breath of the Wild would be a close second, and Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze would be a close third. Because of the Funky Kong, because of the funky mode in that game. But my favorite Nintendo Switch game would have to be Super Mario Odyssey, because of it's just a really, really good game. It has to be my favorite Nintendo Switch game, as well as one of my favorite Mario games of all time. It'd actually be my third favorite Mario game, right after the Galaxy games. And one of my favorite video games of all time. And there's notable secrets you can find in this game. They're really fun to find. But there's lots of really fun kingdoms to play. And the Koopa Free Riding races are really fun. And everything about this game is amazing. The graphics are great. The water even looks great. Water and snow levels both look great. Because you know I've always loved water and snow levels in video games. Okay. And the Koopa Free Riding races are really fun. The easiest one definitely has to be the one in the Lake Kingdom. This one definitely has to be the easiest one. This one definitely has to be the easiest one of the Koopa Free Riding races, but all of them are relatively easy once you know what you're doing. And then there you go. And then it's just really fun to do. And I got a time of 49.68. Let me know what your fastest time is on this Koopa Free Riding race. And that was it. Thank you very much for watching. If you have enjoyed, don't forget to drop a like on the video. And if you're new to my YouTube channel, don't forget to subscribe and click on the bell to be notified every time I make new videos. Have a wonderful evening. Peace out.